Hi everybody, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology, and you're about to view your second quarter forecast for the year 2019. That means that I will be reviewing April, May, and June for each sign. Before we start though, if you do want to find me online for a reading or for a life coaching session, you can go to www.freshastrology.com. If you are interested in starting your own business and want support around that, you can find my other business, tribetripsandretreats.com, at www.tribetripsandretreats.com to find out more and join us there. All right, onward, here we go. Hi everybody, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology, and today I'm going to be looking at your second quarter of the year 2019, and I can't even believe we're in the second quarter. I know, I'm always astounded by time. It moves so quickly. But we are talking to Aries in this particular recording, so hello Aries, and and many of you are having birthdays right now, so happy birthday. So what's coming up for Aries in quarter number 2? So that means we're looking at April, May, and June. So what's coming up for Aries? It's been quite a year for you. You've had this passing of the baton of Uranus from your sign to Taurus, and you've been kind of going back and forth with that baton, not sure if you're going to hand it off. But there is a kind of handing off of the baton, and you may see this metaphor in different ways. Somebody may be handing a baton, metaphorical baton, to you, and you know, if you're not clear on the metaphor I'm using, it's, you know, in a running race, often the runners, like in track and field, will be carrying something like a baton, just a little thing, little stick, and when they get to the next person in the relay, they'll pass that baton, and then the next person moves on with that quest or mission. And so you may feel like someone's handed you a baton, especially at work, but where you handed off the baton is on having to rework your life and recreate your life. It's not that you don't, that like your life is just as it is, you never get to recreate it. You absolutely do, but in a new territory. Right now, you've kind of gone through your own self-reinvention, and you will continue to evolve. There's no reaching a plateau and just staying there comfortably, unfortunately and fortunately, but sometimes we think we've done all this self-work and like, I've arrived, I don't have to do any more self-work. This comes up a lot in coaching, not just in people being coached, but in the coaching community of coaches. It's like, oh, I've worked on myself. I worked on myself for 20 years, or I worked on myself for 30 years, or I've done all that, or I've already, we can be convinced that we've done all the work. And regrettably, I inform you that this is not true, but there's been an intensity to the kind of self-growth you've had to do over the past 7 to 8 years. Am I right? Tell me if I'm wrong. But I know a lot of Aries, and I know there's just been enormous growth and a lot resting on the shoulders of the Aries that in question. So the Aries, him or herself, has been carrying a lot of growth, responsibility, just to move themselves forward, often so they can also help others. And you may find that you do often find yourself in this area of helping others, which I think you're happy to do most of the time. But anyway, the baton has passed. That weight, kind of the weight of the unpredictable, carrying that unknown on your shoulders for so long, can be set down for a little while. Again, I'm not promising any of you that you've done all your growth and that's it, because that's not reality. And be prepared for that next growth mindset. It won't come in the form of Uranian energy, however, that electric plugged in, I've got to run this marathon like it's a sprint kind of feeling, catching up with everything and having to grow internally at the same time, like always playing catch up with your internal growth to deal with what's around you. It won't be in that same Uranian, crazy, unpredictable, wild kind of feeling, that chaotic feeling. It won't be like that as much. It's always a bit unexpected when we have to go through personal growth. The whole way personal growth happens is through discomfort and surprise. So that quality is still there in life in general for all of us. So you're not singled out, but there's been an intensity over the last 7 years that you are passing on. That intensity now goes to the area of making money, spending money, and decisions around career, how you're going to make money, how much money are you going to make, what vehicles will you use? Will you use, computers, cameras, things that plug in, electronics? We almost can't get away from that anymore, so it's harder to make an impact with that statement when I tell you that Uranus does control, all things electric, all inventions, the internet, things that are wired and wireless, because a lot of wireless technology is out in space around us and up. So because we're all governed by that, it's harder for it to sound unique when I say it's in your work zone. But there's also this quality, but that equality is there strongly. Many of you will find you work more technologically, or in a technology company, or you start a technology company. A lot of you will be starting businesses. Doesn't mean all of you will, but a lot of you will get that bug to start something of your own. It doesn't mean, when I say start a business, this is something we deal with in Tribe, my other business, Tribe Trips and Retreats. We help women who want to grow their careers through having their own business concern. Having your own business does not mean that it's a huge business that wants tremendous growth. It could just mean you want like a little Etsy shop. And you yourself will describe it that way. Like, it's not my judgment, but a lot of people will say to me, I just want like a little Etsy shop. Or I just want like to make a little income on the side. I don't want anything huge. Like, that would make me happy. So starting a business can be that. And maybe if you have a little Etsy shop, maybe you shift and have a different kind of Etsy shop. So there will be some changes in how your income comes to you, and how much and how it fluctuates. Well, there may be some huge fluctuations, which, given that, you want to be mindful of having some reserves. The fluctuations are also in what you are choosing to spend. So some of you, because more money comes in or has come in, there's this temptation to finally get the thing you've been waiting to get. Maybe it's a house or a car or a dishwasher or some soap, wherever you are in life. But there's this temptation to, oh my gosh, I've been waiting so long to buy these other things or to get this other financial achievement, that you take the money that comes in and you plunk it into something and then it's gone. And that's neither bad nor good. You just want to be mindful of how you want to feel when you're living. Do you want to always be down to the wire financially, or do you want to have some kind of reserves and know where your money is? Know that you have some reserves. That's the kind of decision only you can make. And you'll find that you'll be forced into making this decision frequently. Many of you through good fortune. Don't think of this. Oftentimes, and I'm the same way, it's human nature, I guess. But when I say things like there'll be fluctuations, you need to be mindful, people suddenly are like, oh, this is bad news because I have to do something. I'm not being told like happy gumdrop stories. I'm being told I have to be mindful and I have to do something, and that puts people on alert and they feel like something bad's going to happen. Just notice that if that's you, if that's how you're responding to this, it's a bit of human nature. Some people respond more dramatically with more alarm and their stress hormones are going all over the place. Just notice if that's how you react to this news, that you have to think and be mindful. If it stresses you out to contemplate being mindful, this is something to notice. But I would say, yes, you don't need to do anything that I tell you to do, but I would say that with Uranus in the second house of money coming in, money going out, that if you wish to have a feeling of stability, then you have to be mindful of how you're behaving with your money to create that sense of stability. If you don't care about a sense of stability, then you're in good shape, because Uranus will not give you that. It all depends on how you want to feel. And because it's newly in this area, now it's going to make a good bit of progress during this 3-month time frame. It will move a fair number of degrees into Taurus. Given that it'll be in Taurus for 7 years, it moves a shocking number of degrees into Taurus. And meaning that a lot of stuff is happening very quickly for you in the spending and earning category during this first or second 3 months of the year. So that's where you're going to find a lot of action. That's where the baton has passed. You're also going to find a lot of your energy going into, if you have any part of your life that's related to learning some skills or teaching some skills, whether you're taking little online workshops or teaching, developing online workshops, or perhaps you're a teacher in a classroom, old-fashioned classroom, or you're going to an old-fashioned classroom to pick up on some little skills. That could be a part of your world. There's also this idea of this is a time during these 3 months when you're really driving around a lot of commuting, toing and froing, a lot of focus on family, whether they're your siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, children, parents. There's a lot of family activity right now in your world. And the toing and froing is so intense around the home area that a lot of you may be considering renovating a house or a space, building a space for yourself to inhabit. It could be for work, it could be for living, your own living situation. You may be helping others move, but there's a lot of movement in the home zone. So people could be moving in and out, but there's some coming and going here, and often this can be a time when people do indeed move. Not always, because we don't move, not all of us move every 2 years when Mars comes through this area, but there's certainly a lot of activity here. So sometimes, somebody who stays in the same place, living in the same place for 30 years, every 2 years they may get kind of this sudden desire to renovate the kitchen or fix the windows or decorate or repaint. So it can express itself in different ways. And then, every 2 years it could be you just have more visitors than at other times, or just more parties, you're hosting more people somehow. But you'll feel that intensity somewhere in your life for whatever external reason, because all Aries will have different external reasons, but this is where you're going to feel a lot of activity. Where you can afford to just be, because we've talked about intensity and movement and progress and things coming and going. It's kind of this chaotic, busy feeling, which is more comfortable for an Aries, but even Aries needs to rest and have places of calm. So here are where your places of calm are right now. And they may sound a little counterintuitive given what I've just said, and this is where life's mystery is. Things aren't always cookie cutter, clear cut, and that's a part of what makes us beautiful, life beautiful. And astrology, if you look at it the right way, not all Aries are having the exact same experience or thinking about things the exact same way. That's what makes us all interesting. So there will be a lot of variation here, and so it's up to you to see how this conundrum sets up in your life. But remember how I said there's a lot moving quickly in your earnings and spending. But one of the areas, bizarrely, where you can just kind of relax your grip, release the reins a little bit, or just relax your grip on the reins, or relax your grip on the steering wheel, is in your overall career direction. There's something about, even though this is a very powerful area for you over like now and moving forward for quite some time, and you have a lot of fluctuation, a lot happening, part of what makes this more of a Zen experience for you and makes it more endurable, and maybe even pleasurable, is learning to release your grip a little bit. Doesn't mean you stop steering your life, or just feign disinterest, or you walk away from it, but it means you relax your grip. Because Aries can kind of get into a grippy mode with movement and going and action and progress and checking off the to-do list. Aries, among other signs, can get a little like, control. I need to control this tightly, and I must not swerve, and I must not, go a different route if I'm driving my life. Must not stop, must not rest, is kind of Aries. And part of how you're going to be successful in all the huge change coming around and all the powerful potential here in your career zone, and this is where it's kind of a disconnect, because it's not how we're trained in our cultures, but part of how you really do well here and manage all this is to relax and to breathe, and to not try to control every last little thing, or freak out if deadlines are being missed or anything like that. Just relaxing your grip a little bit more. Even if you've already been practicing that, relax even a little bit more, because it's as though this is your time to shine if you're working from your true core values. If you've got some sound core values, a lot of your values have been shaken, and you're developing or rediscovering. Maybe it's like a self-discovery of what your true core values are, and redefining them, getting more familiar with your values. If you're moving through the world, especially in your career and how you deal with money from your core values, it's almost like your values, especially when you're in tight connection with them or close connection, and you see what they are, and you're aware every day when you wake up what your values are, they drive the car, that metaphorical car we're talking about. And in this case, around your career direction and making money and spending it. When it's coming out of core values that you're very clear on, I would encourage you to pick about 5, no more, 3 to 5. No more, because you can't remember them. Like 5 core values, 3 to 5, more than 1, more than 2, so 3 to 5 core values that are the most meaningful thing for you. It's what you truly, truly stand for. And I would encourage you not to choose things that don't sound very authentic. God and country come to mind. You can absolutely be a spiritual person. You can be very patriotic, but I would encourage you to stretch beyond those kind of standard, almost robotic responses. Family, God, country. Those are things that people just kind of spout almost like a political platform. Those are platform tenets that are told to us through the media about things that we're supposed to care about. And you might actually care about these things, but think about why. Why do I care about family? Why? Don't just say because. Why do I care about my country? Think about why. Don't just say because I do, because I love my country. Think about why. Well, because my country is so naturally beautiful, It is so diverse. It's so interesting. My heritage here, my family has gone back generations, or I was embraced by this country newly, when my family was in trouble in a different area of the world. Why do you love this country? Whatever country you're in. Why do you love God? Why? Well, because it's God. No. Why? That you really have to dig under and get your authentic values and understand why. It goes beyond the word because, it's just so obvious. Because remember, we get fed stuff by the media, and there are these pat responses that people give, and we want to always work to be individuals and to be ourselves. And those things can still be important, but I want you to dig down to personal reasons and examples why they're important to you. Understand your personal connection to those things. And when you do take the time to do the work of understanding your values on a deeper level, understanding why they're your values, then the reason that's important in this time in your life is that when you do understand that, there's this peace and calm around it. You're not gripping them. For example, when we just spew what the media says or what you're taught, in all the places you're taught in the world, God, family, country, when you just spew that, it's almost, it's nerve-wracking. It's not calm and peaceful. People don't tend to sound calm when they say those words in the way other institutions teach them or spout them. People don't sound calm when they talk about it. When they do sound calm and connected and fully aware and present is when they say, well, God is important to me, and let me tell you why. When I was a little girl or when I was a young boy, I was once on a hillside and I was lost, and then I prayed, and then I was found. Somebody came and found me and took me home. When it becomes a personal story, it has far more power, and there's this emotional connection that all of us have. Like, even just hearing that story, we can connect to you through your values rather than just hearing that God's important. When we hear why, when we hear what it means to you personally and how it came to be important, not only are you more connected to your value, but I'm more connected to you because you told that story. So that's the reason that's important, and why we talk about this in an astrology forecast is I'm not just trying to tell you what's going to happen to you. My whole goal of being here on YouTube and talking to you is showing you that you matter in the cosmos. The way you feel and your personal story matters and actually influences the cosmos. You, and going inward, and how you take the time to be aware of yourself, that matters not only to you but to all of us, because we're all connected. You know why astrology works? Because we're all connected. Why does the moon impact us? Because we're connected to the moon. Why does Uranus impact us? Because we're connected to Uranus. And all of us, I'm connected to you, you're connected to me, and all the other people watching. That's why astrology works. We're all one system. And it's not just this puppeteer system moving you around. What you think and feel matters, and it vibrates back out those puppeteer strings, and it impacts the puppeteer. So that's why we're talking about your core values right now. And that, once you understand them, a lot of the stuff unfolding in your life that feels intense will just unfold naturally. And you can release your grip and relax a little bit. And this is going to help you psychologically. If any of you have been very tense or notice that or even just you aren't necessarily feeling tense or anxiety or depression, but maybe you're just fogged out a lot of the time and you're kind of feeling confused, that exercise I was talking about with getting in touch with your values, releasing your grip, allowing things just to happen, will help you get more clear, will help that whole whatever's going on in your mind right now that you're wanting to work on or you wish it wasn't there. I think understanding how you impact the world, the cosmos, by connecting with who you truly are, understanding that's just so important right now. So anyway, just to recap your quarter, which is April, May, and June. A lot of activity around home and family. You may move or renovate. You may have lots of visitors or do lots of entertaining. Issues around family, children, parents, cousins, sisters, brothers. Big changes on the work front. Possibly doing new things, doing things a new way. Money coming and going on a bigger level. Feeling like some of the burdens placed on you can be lifted a little bit. The personal, intense personal burdens you carried can begin to relax. You can begin to relax that a little bit. And playing around with this idea that you don't have to tightly grip the wheel of your career and where you're going, that you can trust if you're working from your values every day and you understand clearly what your values are, that you can kind of sit back and just let things unfold. It doesn't mean you're twiddling your thumbs and not accomplishing things each day, but you can relax a little bit and trust the universe, the cosmos, to take the wheel sometimes and get you to the right place, get you to where you need to be. All right, that's it, guys, and happy spring to those of us in the northern hemisphere. I'm really enjoying the lack of rain at the moment. All right, take care.